Welcome. Today we're going to talk about Microsoft Security Risk Detection and DevOps. Microsoft Security Risk Detection is Microsoft's solution for finding million-dollar bugs using battle-tested technology that we use on our own code to create scalable fuzz labs in the cloud, supporting both Linux and Windows code. Today we're going to talk about a sample application called Calendar Reader. Calendar Reader is documented in the Microsoft Security Risk Detection Dev Center on docs.microsoft.com. Now, this is an application that reads those cal files that we all use to infect each other's calendars and destroy our focus. You can then view sample code on GitHub for the Calendar Reader application. And we have planted terrible, terrible things inside of this application. Horrible things that could be used by an attacker to take over your computer. And those things can be found through the security testing technology in Microsoft Security Risk Detection. Today, I'm going to show you an Azure DevOps pipeline we've built around Calendar Reader. So this is a pipeline in Azure DevOps. What it does is it builds a sample application called Calendar Reader. It publishes that sample application to a share on Azure, and then it kicks off a fuzzing run with Microsoft Security Risk Detection. This automates the entire process of fuzzing. It becomes just another thing that happens as part of your build. We have a separate video you can watch on what it would take to manually fuzz Calendar Reader, which is still available for people who want to get used to fuzzing or try out different configurations. But today, I'm going to show you how to make it just completely automated. So here is my build. I use Nugget, I build the solution, I publish symbols, and then I'm going to copy the artifacts to a particular Azure file, Azure file share. And now this is the interesting piece, to run Microsoft Security Risk Detection. So I've created a Visual Studio Team Services endpoint, which is just MicrosoftSecurityRiskDetection.com. And then I have an account ID, a unique ID, which is my account on Microsoft Security Risk Detection. In the build, I have published to Azure the actual artifacts that I have created as part of this build. So I have a specific URL for the binaries, and I have a URL for the seed files. And again, we have a separate video which goes over what the seed files are, and what the build is, and what you need. I've told Microsoft Security Risk Detection it's a Windows build. It's a Server 2008 R2 build. I have a PowerShell script which installs the application on my machine. And this script is going to run automatically on the machine as soon as the machine is ready to go. And then I tell Microsoft Security Risk Detection, where the seed files are, what the test driver executable is, what kind of architecture it is, what the arguments are, and everything else I need to fuzz. So to get started, all I have to do is queue the build just the same way I would queue any other build in Azure DevOps. I'm going to use a hosted VS 2017 agent in order to build my artifacts. I queue it up, and then boom, it's ready to go. Under the hood, everything is now being pushed off to the Microsoft Security Risk Detection cloud. I don't have to do anything else. It's just going to start getting fuzzed. Now, how do I know when something has happened? Well, it turns out I have set it up in order to notify me on Microsoft Teams whenever something has happened. So here I can see messages coming from Microsoft Security Risk Detection to my Microsoft Teams, letting me know that something has been found. And I can see all of these different information, all these different things happening here, which tell me all the different issues have been found from the different builds of Microsoft Security Risk Detection. And so that happens automatically without me having to do anything manually for doing that. Now, how does that happen? Well, that happens because I have actually used what we call a system of webhooks in order to set up actions whenever new issues are found for Microsoft Security Risk Detection. These webhooks are using something called Microsoft Flows. So this is a Microsoft Flows. This is a product from Microsoft. It's also called Azure Logic Apps. And I get a URL here, and that URL receives information from Microsoft Security Risk Detection, which I then use to create a work item, or I can post to Teams, I can post to Slack, I can post to Jira. There's 3,000 different connectors in Microsoft Flows. So for instance here, I can say, great, I'm going to search for connector. I can look for Teams, and it'll come up here in a second, Microsoft Teams. I can post a message. I can even, if I have an account with Twilio, I can even send a text message to someone. I'm not going to actually send a text message to someone right now, but it's nice to know that you can do that. And now what that looks like is once I've created the workflow I want, I get the URL. I'm going to copy the URL, and I could go to the Settings tab. So the Settings tab on the Microsoft Security Risk Detection portal, there's a Settings tab, and Settings has what's called a Webhooks. I'm going to click on Add Webhook, and I'm going to look at the set of events. So I have a bunch of events where I can get notified and have a workflow start. The first instance of bug found is what I'm going to use here. And then I just put in the target URL, and I add the webhook, and that's done. That's all I need to do in order to hook up Microsoft Flows to Microsoft Security Risk Detection. That's all I need to do in order to get it become a part of my build and seamlessly notify me or file issues in my bug tracker whenever anything happens that goes wrong. And if you want to find more information, we have documentation, and we come up with a sample payload so you can write your own catcher for the data that comes from the webhook, and you can write your own information flows on top of the data coming on Microsoft Security Risk Detection. So to recap, we went through how you can add Microsoft Security Risk Detection as just another build step in your build, and we showed you how, without any manual intervention, you can have that data flow into Microsoft Teams or into your bug tracker using Microsoft Flows. And now that can then be registered very simply just by using the webhooks functionality in Microsoft Security Risk Detection. So we put it all together, and fuzzing can become something that is completely automatic for you and your team. For more information on this and other features, go to microsoft.com/MSRD. That's microsoft.com/MSRD, where you can find additional information around how Microsoft Security Risk Detection helps you with applications across your entire estate. Thank you.